Hi, all. Welcome to another episode of Positivity with Tamika. And if you have not heard the news, we are officially shutting down one of our Tease Me locations. So we currently have three, and our original location at 22nd Street, 22nd and Talbot here in Indianapolis will be closing down. The final day is December 30th. So, yeah, is gone. I can't believe in 2017, I bought the business from the founder, Wayne Ashford, and since then have grown it to three location total, a bottle tea line and catering and so many more things. So the journey does not stop. It just, unfortunately, sometimes in order to move forward, you have to take a step back. So today, I've been thinking about this, but one of the things that I want to focus on is the courage to close a chapter. And I will say one of the toughest things and bravest things from a leadership journey that we can do is not always look at when you have to close a chapter or step away from something to look at it as a failure, but how do we look at it as something that will allow us to advance and persevere forward? So some of the bravest leadership moments don't look like growth on the outside, but they look like wisdom, discernment, and courage on the inside. So yes, a lot going on, but in the moment, really with the season, we have been talking about this, or I've been talking about this for the last couple of months, right? Just transition and feeling like getting prepared for 2026. What does the transition look like? What's going on? Trying to stay loyal and focus, not loyal, but trying to stay in alignment with God's vision and God's walk in the direction that we're heading in. So a lot going on, but in a great way. So one thing, been having conversations and a lot of people. So thank you for all the people that have reached out via text, email, phone call, seeing people in different spaces and places. But I've continued to talk about, okay, what does this mean? And for myself, stepping back in the last couple of months, because I honestly feel like this was something that God told me to do maybe a year and a half ago. And I got so locked into like, we got to make this work. I want to make this work. Sometimes eventually you have to get into the will of God. And for me, making sure that I am not holding the steering wheel. I do not get to direct this. I am only put on this earth to be a conduit. And even through Tease Me, what we have been able to use it for is a place where people can come, where they feel comfortable. A place of gathering is what we have that we have used quite a bit as well. But in my mind, in the beginning, I thought that if I closed it, it would be a sign of failure. And as leaders, as people, even as you're going through, all of us are leaders to some extent. But as leaders, sometimes the hardest thing is knowing that in order to succeed, you almost have to be able to fail. Success does not happen without failure, and I'm not calling the shutdown of our 22nd Street a failure. I am looking at that more of I had to take a step back, reevaluate where we are as a company, reevaluate the goals that we set out. One of the main reasons that I took over Tease Me Cafe was it was coming off of Catch the Stars, which our foundation is celebrating our 25th year for our basketball camp this year. So we've been around for a long time, but coming off of that, being able to offer some of our youth coming out of the program. So we focus on boys and girls ages 9 to 18, but also allowing them a transition and a place that they could come, that they can learn. And with Tease Me, one thing that I always said is it's kind of one of those things when you think about like lake, ocean. So my version is the pond. And the pond, when you think about it, it's man-made, right? You make this pond, you dig out a hole, you're putting water in it, you're putting plants in it, you're gonna put whatever type of fish you want in it. So when I think about what we have been able to do with Tease Me, I will go with the pond, lake, ocean theory. So for the pond, Tease Me is just that. Our first location is small, it's intimate. We put in what we wanted to put in. We put the love, we put all of our core values, we put things that matter in the grand scheme of things that will matter for our students and for our teammates, employees that we have with us. They're the small, intimate things that we needed in that space. And as we've grown locations, right, and you just think about, so the pond, the lake, the ocean, the pond being tease me and learning how to look people in the face, learning how to serve, learning how to communicate, all the things that you learn. Well, then for most of our students, they might start out in the pond, but then they go to the lake. And when I think about the lake, I also put it in perspective of graduating from high school to college and the trajectory of the students that we've been able to serve. So when they go to the pond, when they go to the lake, they go to college. Bigger environment, more things added, same thing, a lot of unfamiliarity, but you have more space to roam and you have more things that you have to figure out. And then for me, when I think of our team, so they start in the pond and that small environment, they graduate and go to college, and we've added other locations. So they've been forced to learn how to swim in the pond and then swim in the lake, and the ocean is the last part. So when our students graduate from college, and I think about myself and life and all of us be lifing, right? But when you transition to that next phase and when you go into the ocean, nothing is controlled. So for a lot of our students that graduate from college, and now like all of us that have graduated from college or have just been in a different trajectory where you've left school and you move on to that next. You don't know what the world has for you. You don't know what job you're going to end up. Yes, I got my degree in this, but I'm getting a job in this. I mean, so many things in the unknown. And that's what I feel like with the ocean. So for Tease Me, I've always thought about it and have built the principles and have thought through what that looks like and our team members transitioning from the pond to the lake to the ocean. And that's where I feel like even where we are right now. So with the unknown, then the things that are going on and we have to start normalizing being able to pivot and make changes and not being so stuck on, okay, this is what I went to school for. This is what I'm going to study. When I get out, this is what I'm going to get a job in. This is what I'm going to spend the next 30, 40, 50 years doing. I have to normalize being able to pivot and make changes. And one of the bravest moments, or one of the moments in leadership where the bravest thing we can do is to close a chapter, to pivot, to reflect, and to think about, okay, is the next direction? How do I grow and gain that clarity? So yeah, I think through everything that we have gone through with 22nd Street and the memories, the impact, the history, it has served a purpose. Community, growth, learning, opportunity means so many things that come in this phase that we will still be able to do and carry on through our next location or through the other two locations and the next locations that are soon to come in the university model. So it's a lot of things that we have to change, mindset being one. But when you take a step back and think about where you are, what are those areas? What are those things that you have to look at? And for us, being a leader and being in a position of being able to steward Tease Me Cafe, it's not just about, hey, every day we get to open the doors and when people come in, we get to serve them. There's so many things that go into running a business. But I will say this, in a conversation I had the other day, and I was talking about, like have those moments, even now, even though it's been announced, where it's like, okay, like, am I making the right decision? And you get caught in that fray of, well, I can't go back, or can I go back, or you move forward. And one of the things that I am so proud of is even through the beginning, thinking back to the beginning, I didn't go to school to be an entrepreneur. I didn't go to school to own a business. I went to school to be able to be a general manager. And thankfully, through the journey that I've been on, I had that opportunity. But what teased me, knowing all of the things that we have been able to do and accomplish, it just takes putting one foot forward, not living in fear, and having faith that through the journey we'll be able to advance, be able to grow, and be able to continue to make an impact in God's kingdom first and foremost. So I will end this and just say, I always have a verse, and the verse that I picked today is Proverbs 3, 5 through 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Clarity doesn't always come with comfort, but it does come with peace. And through this journey, one thing that I have continued to feel is peace. People keep asking, how you feeling? How you doing? Oh my gosh. I'm like, I honestly don't know which universities we're going. We have some conversations in 2026. I don't know what the path brings ahead of us. But what I do know is through transition, sometimes other things and being able to take a step back and being able to kind of diamond shine the rock underneath and really look at all the things that we need to do as a company will allow us to be stronger, will allow us to stay along, hopefully longer, will allow us to grow and put us in a position to be successful in so many different ways. So I am proud of not succumbing to fear and continuing to have faith in the journey that we're on. So I'm going to say last thing for you guys, because you always like a call to action and I always like to make sure that there are some questions, but I want you to think about what is something or what are areas right now that you feel like you've been holding on, going back to the white knuckling the steering wheel. What are areas that you feel like you might be holding on to for fear? Where is clarity? Where do you need to find clarity? I'm thinking that same question to myself. And how can we trust that letting go of something allows and opens up room for whatever's next? So the courage to close a chapter is often the first road toward the next calling. If you like this, make sure you share it, make sure you like it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. But if you like it, please leave a comment because I love hearing from you guys, and especially in this stage with a couple months or a couple weeks leading into 2026, now is the time to start letting go of things that won't allow us to move forward on our journey. So God bless, have a great week, and I will see you next week.